month.
We gotta talk about how D'Angelo died.
Who?
D'Angelo died.
Who's D'Angelo?
Look up D'Angelo.
Why can't you just tell me?
He's an R&B singer and rapper.
Oh, that I did hear about that. See, if you just tell me, it adds context, and I can understand, because I do remember these.
I thought you would know just from his. I figured if you didn't know his name, that you just like me telling you that he's a rapper wouldn't help.
No, when you say that, I think, oh, is it the guy who created D'Angelo's?
D'Angelo.
Yeah, I know. I don't know who that is.
You still don't know.
I mean, I know who it is, but I don't like I don't really care.
Wow.
Why? What's his deal?
I'm gonna send you one song, and then you're like, "That is a good song," and I'm sad he died.
I mean, I just don't know. I just don't know him, you know?
I'll show you, man. All right.
I mean, I'm sad anybody's dead. Yeah, it seems like pretty good music.
His usually more R&B than that. Yeah, just a really sad death.
Well, I like this. Yeah, that's a good that's some good music. Hello and welcome. We're going to be doing a slightly spooky episode today. We're going to be covering some of the spookier events or the Halloween related events that happened this month thus far. What do we got? Let's see. Here's a slightly spooky headline. Iowa teen dies after being mistaken for a squirrel, officials say. What happened there?
Like somebody shot at him?
I have no idea. That's crazy. A teenager died Saturday in rural Iowa after he was shot by a fellow hunter who apparently mistook him for a squirrel. Yep, that sucks. Why are you shooting at squirrels anyways?
Yeah, it sounds like an insult. Like, that's actually him shit talking the guy he just shot.
Yeah, I guess so. When gunfire from someone in his group struck him in the back of the head. Jesus.
Not good.
I was not expecting this. In a news release, the agency said Ryan was mistaken for a squirrel by a member of his hunting party. The incident took place around 3 p.m., according to the department. Well, that sucks. That's, it's been a really depressing Halloween, but not in like a, it's just been like kind of a weird vibe this Halloween.
I've been having a good time.
So what do we think of Mr. Beast trapping a man in a burning building for a chance to win $500,000?
You did that?
Yeah, you didn't hear about that, dude? That was crazy.
Mr. Beast, I thought whenever I saw like whenever I first started seeing Mr. Beast, I thought he was like AI. It was like before AI was so prominent, but he felt like an AI generated person.
Yeah. He kind of still feels like that, like he could be like the first robot.
I think he could be like an android person, or he could be like an alien.
Yeah, that's true too. He could be an alien.
Just a strange person. Like, I wonder what his friend. I guess I should just check out his contact and answer all my questions. But I don't know. My surface level view of him is actually more fascinating.
Yeah. Hey, he seems like an odd guy, like he could be an alien, but not like a Mark Zuckerberg alien, like socially awkward, but more of like
Like a drone.
yeah, like a happy drone.
Like a placid, happy drone.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Interesting.
What'd you find?
I looked up his birthday to see, what his birthday zodiac is.
Same day as you?
No, May 7th. Let me look that up real quick. Let's find out what his zodiac says about him.
Let's find out about his Myers-Briggs profile.
It says the day of devotion. May 7th people are usually of a devotional nature.
Wow.
They will give their last drop of blood to a cause they support, whether religious, spiritual, artistic, or social material things, and enjoy possessions that lend pleasure to their lives. I don't know, that sounds like him, honestly. Like, I could see how that level of being would lend itself to somebody like that. He's a devoted person.
Yeah.
All right. An AI became a crypto millionaire. Now it's fighting to become a person. Wow. Ohio police chase runaway inflatable pumpkin. October 10th, police in Ohio shared body cam footage of the pursuit of inflatable pumpkin that broke free from in front of a local home and went rolling through town. The Parma Heights Police Department said on social media that officers found themselves in hot pursuit of a giant inflatable pumpkin rolling through town in the early hours of Wednesday. Fun. That's a fun one. That happens probably everywhere, though. Spanish town bans black cat adoptions over fear of Halloween rituals.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's terrifying that they're worried about that.
Yeah. Long stigmatized for bringing bad luck or for links with the occult, black cats have found salvation in a Spanish town that has temporarily banned their adoption of ward off potentially sinister Halloween rituals. Any adoption or fostering request for the felines will be denied from October 1st to November 10th to prevent possible risks derived from superstitions, rituals, or irresponsible users. The Animal Welfare Service of Terrassa, town north of Barcelona, announced on October 6th. The decision was due to the arrival of the Halloween period and following the prudence criteria applied by various animal protection entities, added authorities in the town in the northeastern region of Catalonia. The local newspaper Diari de Terrassa quoted animal welfare counselor Noel Duque as saying last week that adoption requests for black cats increase close to Halloween for ritual purposes or as decorations because it's quote cool. Imagine that, buying a cat for as just as a decoration. That's crazy.
That's something a rich person would do.
That's definitely something a rich person would do. The town hall
That's
could
something
not look
Hassan Piker would do.
the town hall could not look the other way when faced with a grim topic, said Duque, who sits next to a ginger cat in his Facebook profile picture. Animal welfare groups warn cats can be hurt, killed, or used as props during Halloween rituals. Exceptions will be duly justified and assessed by the technical team of the center. Where there is a full safety guarantee and a reliable history of the applicant, the Animal Welfare Service said. The normal adoption and fostering process will resume after Halloween. It added, not ruling out a similar ban in the future. Terrassa is home to more than 9,800 cats, according to municipal authorities. That's wild. That's a lot of cats. Dog sparked a Chapel Hill house fire from chewing on a lithium-ion battery. That's crazy.
Terrifying.
Yeah. German woman who stole ancient relic over 50 years ago returns it to Greece. Never too late to do the right thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Here's a very terrifying headline. Man charged with murder runs for Lenoke County Sheriff. A candidate disappeared months ago after an ocean swim. Can he still win? And a candidate disappeared months ago after an ocean swim. Can he still win?
That's the title of this article.
Yeah, a Long Beach, New York political candidate. New York City suburbs went for a night swim in the Atlantic Ocean this past spring and never returned.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Oh, I never thought about that angle. Petros Karametis' phone, keys, and clothes were found on the sands at Long Beach on Long Island. The 29-year-old former Ivy League rower who was training for a triathlon had parked his car just off the picturesque wooden boardwalk. As the months passed, local Democrats attempted to field a replacement to run for the seat in Nassau County and legislature, but two Republican voters took them to court and won. A state judge recently ordered Karametis' name to return on the November ballot, ruling that he's still considered missing and not officially deceased. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, as election approaches, voters in Long Beach and other South Shore communities have a curious choice: re-elect the Republican incumbent or the Democrat who seemingly vanished at sea. I don't know. What do you think they should do?
I think until he's officially pronounced dead, if you want to vote for him, they gotta accept that.
Yo, imagine if they vote in a dude who's missing.
A dead man.
Yeah, that would be so crazy. Imagine that would be politics now, is that we vote in a guy who's dead. But yeah, that would be crazy if we have a missing guy gets elected into office. That's kind of how the world's going right now. So why not, right?
Yeah.
Just, let it all ride. See what happens. What else? Woman swallows 8 live frogs to ease back pain.
And did it?
I don't know. I don't know if
Do you
it
have an
worked.
answer?
It's coming from the Telegraph. Chinese woman swallows 8 live frogs to ease back pain. Elderly patient taken to hospital after suffering parasitic infection. An 82-year-old Chinese, I guess it didn't work. An 82-year-old Chinese, well, maybe it did, and, it did something else, too. An 82-year-old Chinese woman was hospitalized after swallowing 8 live frogs to ease her persistent lower back pain. The pensioner, who was referred to only by her surname Zhang, said that she was following folklore, which said that eating live frogs could help treat the ache she was experiencing from a herniated disc, according to local media reports. Without letting them in on her plans, she asked her family for help in catching the frogs, which were all smaller than the palm of a hand in September. She consumed 3 of the frogs right away and the remaining 5 the following day. Soon after, she began to develop abdominal pain and was sent to the hospital, where she then disclosed what she had done. Wow. Doctors conducted a round of tests and confirmed she had a parasitic infection. Swallowing frogs has damaged the patient's digestive system and resulted in some parasites being present in her body. Wow. That's wild. Crazy shit happens.
Do you remember that superhero cartoon, like mini movie that was in a DVD with some classic Spider-Man episodes? And it was a creation of Stan Lee's, and it was like this kid who becomes a skateboarding superhero.
No.
Look that up. They need to recanonize him. I swear I've landed this like 10 times.
The Condor
Yes. Is it skateboarding or is it rollerblading?
becomes a skateboarding superhero.
Yup.
He's got like
Why are
gliders
there
and shit.
why are there no skateboarding superheroes?
I don't know. Static Shock is kind of like the closest thing.
Yeah, he's like a hoverboard guy, which
Yeah.
is awesome. Which is
Yeah,
sick.
it is.
You're still watching me, right?
California police pull over a self-driving Waymo for an illegal U-turn, but they can't ticket. I mean, you should be able to ticket the company.
What's a Waymo?
I don't know. I'd imagine it's probably like a self-driving truck or something like that. But that's like they should still be able to ticket the company. I
Yeah,
think
they
that
should.
that's, that should be still a thing.
Yeah, I have to imagine that Tesla has paid a lot of money to people who have gone to accidents because of Teslas. Like, or do you think they always take the blame? They're like, no, that's your fault. You're the driver. You signed the contract.
I don't know. I would imagine because it's still experimental, I do think that there's a certain like little bit of like, oh, you signed the contract, so you get what you get.
I've heard
But
of companies getting these like special deals and almost like pardons from the government for like technological achievement and like yeah, whatever. We understand that like there's gonna be some eggs breaking, but we know you're gonna give us like
yeah, the Lords of Negligence.
something.
Let's see. Less Halloween headlines than I thought.
R.I.P. D'Angelo.
Yeah, R.I.P. D'Angelo.
D'Angelo.
Yeah.
Let's have a whole minute of silence for D'Angelo.
Well, I'm still stuck on the Mr. Beast, like, burning like a place. Like, that's kind of crazy, right? And then having somebody like fight to survive out of it. I mean, the dude was a trained stuntman, but still.
And that person signed something, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, he definitely signed something.
Have we ever talked about the guy with that haunted house where he like does horrific things that like would count as torture if they were done to an immigrant?
Are you talking about the H.H. Holmes or whatever his name was?
This is the guy who has like a haunted house at his house, but the haunted house is him doing like really gruesome, like torturous things to you that are not like bodily harm exactly, but it's like still
Oh,
like him like fucking with you, and you're going through it because if you go through it, you get I think it's $25,000 he has on the line to anybody who can go all the way through this, and apparently he's never paid anybody up, even though they have. So he just does all this shit to you, and you go through it because you want that money, and then he just doesn't give it to you.
that's
At least that's
crazy.
that's the image that's been painted for me.
Um, I know it wasn't related to what you were saying, but I wanted to look him up anyways. The guy H.H. Holmes, you know who I'm
Oh yeah,
talking about?
we know H. Holmes.
Do you know what day he died?
Halloween.
No. May
What day?
7th, 1896.
Oh, Mr. Beast is a reincarnation of H. Holmes.
Yeah, Mr. Beast is a
I could see
reincarnation of
that.
H.H. Holmes.
I could see that.
I could see that too. That's kind of funny.
Dude, you
Um,
know what I just realized? You know what's something horrible that happened? And we covered this on a previous episode. I think last episode, or maybe that's the episode before that, before this,
mhm. What is it?
before that one. MF Doom died on Halloween.
Was it exactly Halloween?
Yeah, so I think they announced that he died on New Year's Day, the following New Year's Day after Halloween, saying that he
Oh
had
yeah,
died on Halloween.
that's crazy.
And I forgot how many years ago that was now, but that's just where I
Five,
remember the day.
2020. That's crazy, dude. I never
Yeah.
realized it was Halloween exactly.
Yeah.
Halloween's a weird time. Really weird time.
Hey, you know what's funny is we started doing that, and I've never seen this before, but I just noticed it. There's these shows on HBO, and I think they're kind of trashy because of like the concept. We just did it for like a one-off episode, but they have like whole shows that are a similar premise. And one was Friday the 13th killings or something like that, or murders. And it's just
Mhm.
murders that have happened on Friday the 13th.
What episode did
As
we do that was similar?
horrible things that have happened on Halloween.
Ah,
Like that's I wanted to cover that, and like it was interesting for that episode, but two whole seasons of it is kind of crazy.
yeah, I
Actually, no,
agree.
I think that might have been just one season for that one. I'm not sure. There's another
Sorry,
one that's like Nightmare on the Real Nightmares of Elm Street or something like that. And there's two seasons of that, and it's just killings that have happened on a street that's Elm Street.
that's hilarious.
There's an Elm Street in every town.
Yeah, there's probably been a lot of people that what do you call it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're probably they can have
There's
like
well, there's probably a
17
lot of
seasons.
yeah, exactly. There's probably been a lot of deaths on places called Elm Street.
Exactly.
I've heard of like a whole bunch. I think we even talked about one on that episode, literally.
Tell you what though, there's probably been at least double the amount of killings on a street called Broadway.
Okay, my package is on its way. All right,
Would you
good.
order?
Uh, uh, two books. The luck version of that birthdays book I have, and the destiny version too. Because that birthday book's been so dead on that it's crazy that I wanted to get, see what else that guy has to say about other shit.
To your guru,
I don't know. He's the closest thing.
he's your warlock mentor.
Yeah. Gary Goldschneider.
Why does that sound familiar?
Because he's the guy who wrote The Secret Language of Birthdays.
I wouldn't know him from that.
I think we talked about him recently. Let me see. What are some other things that we can talk about that happened this month? Um,
We can talk about everything that's happened in Washington.
you want to go off about Peter Thiel's Antichrist statements that should terrify everyone?
I want to go off about Peter Thiel. I want to go off about Pete Hegseth.
What happened with him again?
He's in charge of the Pentagon.
Yeah, what did he do?
I don't want to cover it just
I
because
was gonna
I don't
say
want
I
to
think the Peter Thiel thing
say
is
everything.
perfect because Antichrist,
No, we can talk about all of these things.
Is Peter Thiel the Omen boy grown up?
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, like you said, he wished.
He has scary eyes.
He does.
There's something wrong with that man.
Yeah, he sweats a lot. It's not that bad to sweat a lot, just so everyone knows out there. I don't,
I've always
I don't,
sweated a lot.
yeah, I got nothing
Always
against
sweat
anybody
a
who
lot.
sweats a lot. When you sweat a lot, when you get asked really important things,
I've always been highly perspirant.
yeah, when you're highly perspirant, but also you're speaking about incredibly big things that are bigger than yourself and answering questions, stammering and making yourself look as rough as you possibly can while trying to answer the most basic of questions like should
As soon
humanity
as somebody asks you,
survive?
like, he's talking about the Antichrist, as soon as someone's like, "Well, what about you? Like, couldn't you be the Antichrist?" And he goes, "I mean, um, I don't think what I'm doing is wrong."
No, dude, you know what's funny? You know what's hilarious about that is I thought you were going to exaggerate, but you actually undersold it. Like he actually does even more than that. Like he'll take like a fucking 20 seconds to figure out what
Yeah,
he's saying and he'll be like,
You ever? All right, this is gonna
no.
be a great reference. Get ready for a great reference. He reminds me of the farmer from Men in Black when he has
The
the
farmer
bug
from Men
inside of
in
him.
Black. Yeah, the Vincent
Except he's not
D'Onofrio
like,
dude.
except he's not like an idiot. He's like he is intelligent, but he's just like still uncomfortable, like an insect in a man's body.
Yeah, you're talking about Vincent D'Onofrio, right? The main bad guy, basically.
I didn't know that was him in that.
That was like his first role. I think was
That's
like
crazy.
Men in
The guy who
Black.
drinks
Yeah,
water with sugar in it.
I think that's it. Yeah, the dude who's like real grimy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. He always scared me as a kid. I was always like, "Ooh, who is this man? He's so off-putting." And then it turns out he's the best kingpin there is.
He's the best at a lot of things.
Yeah,
He's my best friend.
he's my best friend. Holy shit. Yeah, so crazy shit happening. There's been a lot of protests, there's been a lot of protests this past month.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Anyways,
Let's talk about that.
yeah,
The
that's it.
protests, like that should people know. Like they're out there protesting. They know what's up. They're
Yeah.
fighting over it. We gotta keep talking about things that no one's fighting for.
Yeah. Well, let me just say one thing before we talk about like the lead poisoning or whatever it is. I just want to throw this out there, because we read this like moments before starting the pod, but this is coming from MidasNews.com. Trump may launch missiles into California this Friday and Saturday as part of a quote vanity parade. Sources tell Midas House the White House will shut down portions of I-5 for VP JD Vance Marine Corps spectacle during the No Kings protests. If that happens, that would be insane. Anyways,
You already know that like one of the whatever they're gonna shoot off, it's actually gonna malfunction and hurt somebody, maybe kill them.
yeah, I mean it's probably
And
gonna
then
malfunction.
the protests are gonna turn into widespread riots. And then people's homes are gonna get broken into that didn't deserve it by people wearing masks.
Yeah,
And
I
then
don't know if that's
people are gonna get thrown
actually.
in prisons for a long time, and we won't see them for a long time. We'll never know what happened to them.
Yeah. I don't know if this missile thing is actually going to happen. That would just be like crazy. I feel like that would be like if
That's
this guy
like
called that would be so nuts.
we have fireworks for a reason. Like we don't need to really like like blow up missiles in the sky of California to prove a point.
Yeah, all they have to do is literally just go light off a few fireworks and they can take out half of California.
They just have to pay like a couple of drone companies to do a crazy drone display in the sky. That's just warning, like we will kill you if you protest.
Basically what China does.
Is that what they do?
That's kind of what they do. They put
Whoa.
drone like a lot of things happening with lockdowns. They would basically tell you with like drones around the city to like
It's a beautiful
basically.
display, and then like it just ends with like very plain characters written across the sky, like if you fight, you will die. If you fight back, you
What's
will obey.
what's
It's like
yeah,
lay live.
what's the classic line? There's like a classic line. If you compliance will be rewarded. Oh, it's just like a quote from Hydra. Compliance will be rewarded. Just remember.
Compliance will be rewarded.
Yeah.
That sounds like a reference to like how like Nazi soldiers who were complicit in horrible things. Like they're like, yeah, well, I was just a soldier doing what I was supposed to. It's well, you were. Anybody could
Yeah.
have decided not to kill innocents. Doesn't matter.
All these protesters are not compliant and they will not be rewarded.
They'll be rewarded with a spectacular display.
Yeah. A spectacular display.
From the Fuhrer.
Let's see. What else? What else do we got?
Dude, what if Trump does a collab with Balenciaga?
Why?
Cause they're like very like Hitler inspired, aren't they?
Are they?
Aren't they like very like leathery?
No, Hugo Boss.
Hugo Boss, is that what it is?
Well, that was the original like uniforms were Hugo Boss uniforms because he was a
Is that a
Nazi.
company that's relevant today?
Yeah.
Today?
Yeah.
Do they have stores?
Yeah.
Where?
It's one of the designer fashion brands.
Dude, he's just like, yeah, we loved Hitler. Anyway, we're moving on from that.
Hugo Boss.
What's up with that? What's up with that?
Let's see. A German designer of fashion company headquartered in Metzingen, Baden-Württemberg, Germany.
Dude, you read that too well. Who
The
are you?
company was the company was founded in 1924 in Germany by Hugo Boss and originally produced general purpose clothing in the early 30s. Hugo Boss began to produce and supply military uniforms for the government of Nazi Germany, resulting in large boosts in sales. That's crazy how they added that in. After World War II and the founder's death in 1948, Hugo Boss started to turn its focus to men's suits. The company went public in 1988 and introduced a fragrance line that same year, adding men's and women's wear diffusion lines in 97. So yeah, it became a huge company.
Insane.
Yeah. Let's see if Florida has any interesting Halloween headlines. Florida woman wanted in Rolex theft cases busted after cop recognizes her at Club Space.
Have we looked up the most recent Austin City killer murder?
No.
We should check that out, see if that's even happening anymore.
All right. Yeah. Is that guy still serial killing? Austin serial killer. Let's see.
If he's up to like 2 a month now, it's gotten way worse.
Well, here's a Houston one. Houston police discover 16 bodies in bayous this year as mayor dismisses serial killer speculation.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Austin must apologize for wrongful prosecutions in yogurt shop murders.
What?
Quadruple murder at Austin's yogurt shop was one of the city's most infamous cold cases. 30 years later, police have a suspect. Robert Eugene Brashers. Interesting. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's anything about the Rainy Street killer.
He must have gotten bored.
He must have gotten bored. I mean, serial killers usually lay low for a while, or do they?
I'll tell you what, he didn't try too hard to kill me when I met him.
He didn't try too hard to kill me when I met him. You want to tell us that story, or you want to save it for another time?
Yeah, I'll save it for another time.
All right. Here's a crazy headline that I kind of want to read, but maybe we'll just leave it at this. Florida man and woman arrested for leaving child on the side of the interstate with a .40 caliber handgun and a bag of cash.
What the fuck?
Crazy.
Those kids were like, "You want to play GTA all day? Here, we'll give you GTA all day."
We'll give you. He's at the kind of right age where that would be like the case.
We'll give you GTA for the rest of your life. Get ready for the system.
A couple in Florida is facing charges after police said they left a 16-year-old boy by himself on the side of Interstate 75 and told him to fend for himself. That's crazy. Police said the couple also left a bag of handguns and cash with the teenager. What? According to probable cause affidavit, Northport police received a call October 1st, just before 6 p.m., about a boy seen walking along I-75 about a mile south of Sumter Boulevard. The responding officer found the teen, who told me had been in a vehicle with Bradley Leon Guerrero Santos, 36, and Rosanella Mendola Borja, 35, and an 8-year-old sibling. The teen said that when he got home from school, the couple informed him they were taking a trip. When he returned from walking the family dog, he saw they were frantically throwing clothes into duffel bags and loading them into their car. When the vehicle got to the interstate, the teen told the couple he did not want to go on the trip, which he told was either to Guam or Idaho, the affidavit said. At that point, the teen told police the couple pulled over the side of the road, gave him the 2 bags containing .40 caliber handguns, a 9mm handgun, cash.
How much money?
I don't know. It doesn't say. Maybe they'll say it after.
That's gonna make me like. It's gonna change how I think about his parents or whoever these two.
Yeah.
People. That's his parents, right?
Yeah. Were they just setting him up for like the rest of his life? Were they like skipping town?
Were they like, listen, we're not gonna force you to come with us, but like, here's $20,000.
Here's 20. Was this like
That's
$1,000
not like
to get
everything
through
he
the
would need,
week?
but that's still like a lot to give up. Enough for me to think that
Yeah.
these pieces
Or
of shit care a little bit about him.
were they just trying to give him the gun and money to basically be like, here, get yourself home. Here's some money for the week. Make sure
Here's the
here's
gun. The gun's gonna get you everything you need. That's like the Swiss Army knife of life.
that's supposed to get you out of trouble. So I think they were getting him that so that in case he ran into some issues because of the money, he'd be able to get out of that in order to get home. You know what I mean? Like, I
Also,
feel like
you need
this,
a ride home. You got a gun. Some
that's,
cops ask you what's up. You got a gun. Anybody tries to stop you. You got a gun.
I
You're
wasn't,
getting hungry. You got a gun.
Jesus. That's not what I was saying, but yeah.
You're getting bored. You got a gun.
You get bored. That's crazy.
These are philosophical ideas.
These are philosophical ideas. Attempts were made by police to call the couple's phones, but each time the person answering the phone either denied being Santos or simply hung up. That's hilarious.
That's the only way to answer a phone call from somebody you don't know.
Especially if it's the police, they're calling you. You're like, yeah, no,
If you're the
that's no,
police,
it's not me.
if you're the police, put in some effort. You know what I mean? Like, can't we just like triangulate their phone?
Yeah, they hang up on the police. The cops just look around at each other like he hung up. What are we gonna do? I don't know.
Where do we go from here?
How do we fix this? They all just sit around. They ask ChatGPT, "Hey, what can we do?"
Oh man, yeah.
They're like, "How do we triangulate phones?" ChatGPT is like, "Hey, great question. Since you're a police officer, you should already know this, but
So a lot of workplaces are already like kind of indoctrinating people into AI usage, but like specifically ChatGPT. Like I don't know if they're getting paid or if they have some like I don't know what it is, but they're like pushing ChatGPT hard. I'm sure they have for a while. Maybe I'm just getting cued in on this, but
yeah,
you already know there's going to be like 10 different people within the first few months are going to get in trouble for having that. Like the new Open AI erotica on at the workplace computer, just because it's like the same AI. They're like, let me ask my AI, and the AI just like just answers immediately. Like I can't even say it.
yeah, I know what you mean. It just does some crazy shit." The police were able to track the couple's phones to an address in Wauchula, Florida, where local police found and detained them. So they didn't even go on the trip to Guam or whatever. The kid was just covering.
Imagine your boss just like your boss is like, hey, have you crunched those numbers yet? I'm obviously I don't know. Like this is a completely fake position where you have to crunch numbers, whatever that means. And he goes, hey, have you crunched those numbers yet? Like, well, hold on, let me do it real quick. You just open up your AI and you're like, hey, let me input this data here, click this, and it goes like, oh, hello, my favorite toilet. Here's those numbers you want.
Hello, my favorite toilet. So you find out the person's like into some crazy shit.
That's just yeah. As soon as it's not going to just be a black screen with text on it, it's going to be like I think they've showed images of like anime girl avatars. Like, what if one day everybody has a Chat GPT? Like, depending on what you input into it, it changes the avatar, and it's what you use for everyday life. So like, whatever you tell it to do, that's like your one stop shop for everything. Just like think about all the people who are like, oh, let me figure this out real quick, and they open up their hologram phone, and there's just like a floating anime girl. The floating anime girl is just like super awkward and super shy and super like really really embarrassing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There's a lot of people that are gonna have like shit like that
He's
just
gonna be like
popping
a
up.
very like a well dressed businessman,
A well-dressed businessman.
and he's just gonna open up his phone. It's gonna fold and it's gonna unfold, and then like a floating anime girl is gonna pop up on top of it, do a little dance, then go, "How can I help you?"
How can I help you? People are gonna have like Princess Leia. They're gonna be like, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi," or they're gonna have like that person's name inserted
Exactly.
into the
Like that will
line.
be a
Yeah,
thing too. Like you're gonna be able to have Darth
100%.
Vader talking to
Yeah.
you.
You are getting a call from work. Dun, 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 dun.
So some people are gonna have to be like, listen, Darth Vader. From now on, you're Darth Vader,
Listen.
but at night you have an alternate personality, and you shapeshift into an anime girl. That's what people are gonna do. They're gonna have to do that.
You start telling her a bunch of things like look into yourself and look into
You.
finding the personality of Princess Leia.
Well, I was thinking like you could just mix up your AIs on accident. So you think you're talking to Darth Vader, but it's actually your AI anime girlfriend, and she's just like very upset with what you're asking her, or she's just like, I don't know, and you're like, no, I really fucking need the answer right now. God,
Or
I need Darth Vader
you
right
say
now. I need
you
Darth
say
Vader
some
right now.
shit
I don't
to
need you
Darth
right now.
Vader,
What?
and Darth Vader's like, I cannot do that currently.
Yeah.
You just tell Darth Vader to do some crazy shit. He's just like, the dark side of the Force is too strong.
Although fueled by passion, the dark side does not have room for pleasure.
Yeah. He goes, I find your strength of faith rather disturbing. Oh man.
Yeah, I think that's I'm really scared of that.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. Imagine like somebody has like you're gonna be able to have like Ronald Reagan yell at you. He's gonna be like, wake up! We're gonna take him down. Oh, that sounds like Joe Biden. I'm
Yeah.
sure
You can
somebody will
do
have
that
Joe
too.
Biden
Yeah.
yelling at somebody. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, we need you to get off those records there, Sonny.
Think about how many people are gonna have Donald Trump talking to them.
Listen, buddy, you gotta do it. You gotta go for it. This business opportunity is 1 in 1,000,000.
All right, this is a really horrific idea, but you know that what country was it that elected an AI leader?
Oh, I forgot, but that's crazy. Isn't that nuts?
What if he croaks?
Ribbit.
What if they just get a Trump AI?
That would be crazy. And he just like imagine he just gets like put into like the missile defense system and shit and he integrates into the defense.
What if he fakes his death? They use the Trump AI, but it's actually Trump the whole time.
But Trump is a lot like an AI already. He could pass for AI easily.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. This is a funny. We should start having like small Florida man segments because there is sometimes some funny stuff in Florida. Florida man arrested after trying to pay bail with alligator he claimed was his lawyer. It's almost like at this point, people in Florida have just taken up the fact that they're like a bunch of like nuts and
I feel
they've
like
just kind of
people in
rolled with it.
Florida. I feel like people in Florida are trying to like get news sites and news people to talk to them for money.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it feels like people are like going out of their way to be like Florida men and women in order to like further that whole thing. What do you call that? Like in order to further the meme, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's sometimes some weird stuff though. But some of this is just normal stuff. Like some guy broke into some another Florida MMA man's home. Like that's that's pretty normal. Here's a pretty normal one. Florida man killed and ate his pet peacocks, authorities say.
That's fucked
To-
up.
Totally normal.
What do you think they taste like?
Yeah, I mean, they're birds. I would imagine they taste like a bird. Some kind of
All
geek, like probably a shitty turkey.
yeah. I think
It
should
probably
you
doesn't
know
taste
be better?
good. I mean, I never hear people being like, "Oh, I love eating peacock." You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
mean you don't hear that about a lot of animals.
No, but I hear of like people saying like duck's pretty good.
Yeah,
So
but duck's actually a pretty popular food.
that's what I'm saying, though. I
I'm
hear
just saying that there's like I hey, you know what? I'm not gonna fight this battle right now.
don't
Moving on.
people eat ostrich or emu eggs too? Isn't that a thing?
That's crazy. I think I've
I
heard of
could
that
be
though.
wrong about that.
We're gonna talk about next up. We're gonna talk about Hassan Piker torturing his dog.
Hassan Piker tortured his dog.
Yeah, and we're gonna
How
leave it
did
at
that
that.
happen?
He was using a shock collar on his dog.
Oh yeah, I saw the stream where that happens. Everybody went crazy.
But people argued it was like a pretty cruel reason to even use that. Like you shouldn't be using it, but also like if you are using it, like you're just using it to like make your dog sit in one place for hours all day. He said like 5 different excuses
Well,
in like the
well,
3
hold
days
on.
that it happened.
So I feel like it's funny to me because it's such a showing of his personality that he like needs something there to listen to him, like an audience where he'll like force something to be in the same room with him, but at the same time, but he takes away
The dog is merely just a decoration. Kind of
but what
like
I'm also
that's why I said he's the type of person to buy a black cat just for Halloween, just to like so he can sit in the back of his stream and look cute.
I guess that makes sense, but it seems to me like he wants to just have like a lot of control. That's what it comes
Oh,
down to.
that's definitely part of it. But like
Like he
his
wants
dog
to
was just
control
like,
his audience.
you know how like streamers who make a lot of money have all these crazy decorations behind them.
Yeah,
That expensive dog was just one of his decorations.
that poor dog. Hassan
I was
Piker.
laughing so hard because I'm watching a few of these clips and like different people covering it, and I see this one dude, and he's just like, "Hey, has anybody asked where the dog is now? Oh, where's the dog, guys? Where is it now?"
Where's the dog? He doesn't have the dog on stream anymore.
I guess like he must have had another stream when the dog wasn't there. I don't know. I probably wouldn't have my stream on my. Well, let me say that again. I probably wouldn't have my dog on stream if the world was calling me a piece of shit
Yeah,
in
no,
connection to my
100%.
dog.
Well, that's the thing is,
Not to defend
w-
the guy because he's
yeah,
a big he's a big
we're
dyker.
not we're not we're not terribly fans of Hassan Piker here, but I would say it's kind of interesting because like there is really only two routes, either double down or you know, or shut up, and it's funny that he went with the shut up instead of doubling down cuz he
He
seems like a
said
doubling
he said
down kind of guy.
multiple explanations. He didn't double down.
So he did double down, you're saying, if he gave multiple explanations. I'm
No, he
saying
just like,
doubling down is in keeping the dog in the stream.
oh, I just mean that like since this has happened, like you can tell it's really getting to him. You can tell it's like you can tell he's really really pissed. Like this could fuck everything up for him.
Well, I saw this whole thing on a left-leaning like page and they were like making fun of him hardcore. So, I feel like that's the general consensus among everybody.
It's just like, dude, like he just built himself up into such a hateable person that like he truly was just doing things that people would hate if they just knew he was doing it.
That's a hilarious way to say that and very accurate. He just built himself up into such a hateable
You
person.
just if every time you disagree with somebody, you said that they're just like either like a piece of shit or a complete fucking idiot. Every time you disagree with somebody, people are gonna fucking hate you.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, oh, you. Anytime you do anything wrong, they're gonna be like, look at you, dude. You are the worst.
Yeah, well exactly. That's the thing is, before you cast stones, you can't live in a glass house, right? Or whatever that saying is. He has the biggest glass house ever, but he still likes to have stones and turrets. I don't know if I said that right, but you get what I'm saying.
Um, what else?
What are your thoughts on Peter Thiel?
Um,
I really think the Antichrist thing is a good thing to talk about, given that this is Halloween.
I've been seeing these people post videos that seemingly like they're almost like set up like they're gonna criticize Peter Thiel, but then they start explaining like, yeah, but he could be just trying to do this. Like, if you really just like follow his logic, like this is what he's probably going for, and it would be really smart, honestly. And it's like, don't try to fool us.
I was gonna say, what are
Don't
they
try to
like?
fool
The
us.
opposite of hard truths,
Yeah.
hard propaganda.
Yeah.
Don't try to fool us. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's crazy.
I feel like that's the thing. What is it they say? Like people are smart, but like, or like the average person is smart, but like us as a whole, we're stupid. Like everybody could be smart, but like as a whole, I don't entirely agree with that. But the way
Well,
the
I've
way it
said
works
that
with
to
these,
you.
the way it works with these powerful companies and powerful people and they just like go to our government. Like they do shit where we're like, wow, that's so stupid. But like, it's not even like they're dealing with just individual people. They're just dealing with like this bureaucracy. They're like, yeah, if we just follow these rules, we can do this. And they're like convincing people that they don't even really have to convince because these deals are already set up.
See, the issue isn't necessarily groups of people, and the issue isn't necessarily individuals. It's individuals within groups of people, I think, is what
I'm
it
sure
comes
there's always
down to.
bad ones of those, but I don't entirely blame all of our problems on individuals. I blame on the system being like just
But
not.
that's what I'm saying is it's individuals within the system
No,
that are
I'm
that are
saying it's
bad
it's
actors.
that's a big problem, but I think the main problem isn't the individuals, but the system itself just being kind of like not
Well, those individuals perpetuate it.
no, well, listen to me. I'm saying that like it's not a efficient enough system. The bureaucracy of it, not just the people inside of it who are taking advantage and stealing or just like doing bad things. I'm talking about like overall, just not efficient enough. That's why our country keeps getting fucked up and
Our country, 'tis of thee.
dragged in different directions we don't want to go. The average person is constantly like, "What the fuck is going on?" But we keep going in these crazy directions. It's not
Yeah.
efficient enough. We need to realize like what the intelligent average is and just
The intelligent average.
I don't it's and I'm not talking about like just false smart people. I mean like common common sense. We really need our hands held.
That's why AI is going to help us.
AI is not common sense.
No, if anything, it's the opposite.
AI will generate some crazy shit for you to do. That's very convoluted.
I think AI is going to help us, but it is going to hinder us in a lot of ways. I think people just need to realize that it's a tool like anything else. It's like, you can take a hammer and you can do something crazy with it, or you can build a house. I think more people should just start building houses with AI, so to speak.
Well, the problem is you can do something very innocent with AI, but someone's still doing something awful with it in the background. That's why you have to limit AI.
No, I know, but I'm talking about regular people. I'm not talking about like the people that distribute the AI. I'm talking about regular people should be using AI in everyday life for things that'll help them as tools, not as just like
I know it's
stupid
the
shit.
yeah they're gonna whip out their phone and their anime girlfriend's gonna tell them what the tip should be on the fucking pizza they just got. But I think the whole point is that like these things are gonna make us dumber because like we're not gonna be able to. Our brains aren't going to be used to using the problem solving skills. So our brains are just not going to need to. Our brains are going to immediately go look it up, look it up.
Yeah, but our brains have already done that since like we started using libraries and shit. You know what I mean?
This is true. This is true. It's just
Everybody
going to
was
get way
say like,
worse though. Is what I'm saying.
yeah,
Until we're dependent on AIs.
it's funny because what I'm saying is a good thing and a bad thing is same thing that you're saying is centralized knowledge. It's not a bad thing, but it's also not entirely a good thing.
Yeah, we need a library, not a fucking robot overlord.
Yeah. The Library of Alexandria was great.
Exactly. Something else that happened this month.
What is something else that happened this month? Venezuelan ships have been something happened with Venezuelan ships. I don't know. I heard something about the Venezuela.
We're bombing their ships.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah,
Did you hear about giving Argentina a bunch of money and then they threw a rock concert? I forgot if that was last month or this month, but it feels like this month.
that's cool.
Well,
I know how we're supposed to feel about it, but
I know
come
how
on.
we're supposed to feel about it. And then they went and did like a soybean trade deal with China or something like that after. That was wild. Seeing the video of the
I
president
heard about
like
that actually.
dancing and singing is crazy. Yeah, well that's why they did like a soybean deal with China instead of with the United States or something after we bailed them out. I forgot what the gist of it was, but I think that's it.
Weird.
But it was crazy. And then we ended up, I think, maybe doing tariffs too. So everything is going to be more expensive next month. Everybody keep that in mind.
Again, even further.
Yeah, November 1st, I guess there's 100% tariffs on China. And then I
Wow.
guess China's doing like tariffs on us too. So it's like going to be crazy.
Wow.
So keep that in mind, everybody. If you want computer goods,
Yo, we gotta like vote for anybody but this guy. It's gone on too far, folks.
not a political ad.
You had your laughs. Can we not
Can we not?
just like fucking dive headfirst into garbage?
Remember when somebody said that, they were a king? That was crazy. You know what I'm talking about?
They should have. It should just be like on the Declaration of Independence that any man who claims to be the king of America should be arrested.
Yep. That means Elvis Presley should have been arrested.
Yeah, for real. He should have been arrested. He slept with like 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
This is, you know what? There's a lot of things that he has in common with Trump, huh?
Michael Jackson should have been arrested then.
Wow, these guys all have a lot in common.
These guys all have a lot in common. Oh man. I don't want to go get too deep. King of Funk is James Brown. Oof. We can't even go there.
Or you're just naming kings of things. I'm talking about
Yeah, but
people who say they're the king of
James
America.
Brown has a lot of issues too, dude.
No, I know, but he can be the king of funk. I have no problem with that.
I know. I'm saying,
Did you mention Michael Jackson just because he's the king of pop?
Well, I mentioned it for two reasons, but that was
I thought
that
it
was
was
one
because
of
he
them.
said he was a king of America.
Well, he was one of the kings of America. Elvis is one of the kings of America. Michael Jackson is. They're all kings that are from America. Nah.
What should be the penalty for somebody who like tries to take over America as king?
I mean, I think there already is a penalty, but I don't know. I have no idea, but I thought there already was one.
It probably isn't because it's like never happened before. Well, the whole point of you can only serve 2 terms, and like I know that's changed over the course of time, but like that's all we have to stop this.
You know what's funny about that is that was, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about this, but I think that was actually created by Republicans in order for like an FDR thing not to happen again, because FDR ended up like being in for like 4 terms.
We don't need that.
Yeah, he died in office, if I'm not mistaken. Like he was in office for so long.
A lot of the rewriting of history happened in that time. All right, moving on.
Yeah, a lot of interesting shit. But now, we might get a 3rd term for another guy. I feel like though,
guys, you're not gonna let that happen, right? Come on.
Well, if that did happen, it would be because of like war. That's the only way that could happen again. But
so he's gonna be like, yeah, I'm at war with the Democrats.
Yep.
That's what he's gonna do.
I'm glad I don't identify with that political
They're gonna pull
party.
some ICE bullshit where it's like, all right, we're going after Antifa now because like we're using them as like as a boogeyman. One of the key indicators that you're an Antifa is if you're a Democrat, and they're just gonna start pulling Democrats off.
I said this at the beginning when there was a lot of people who were like in favor of ICE. And in my opinion, we should never have like any kind of organization that goes after people in secret, like walking the streets, just abducting people. But
yeah, you don't want it to just like grab who you can off the street. Let's just round these people up. You don't want that.
Tron Ares flopped.
I heard that people really liked it though. Just nobody went to see it. Not enough people.
It's funny, but I feel like it's just because Jared Leto is box office poison.
Yeah.
I think that's really the only issue with the movie.
Nobody likes Jared Leto anymore, except for like
Jared Leto.
Die-hard fans of Jared Leto.
Yeah. He's pretty much like a cult at this point.
Just people haven't realized that yet. Like people who make movies haven't realized that yet, which is crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I'm not seeing too many Halloween news.
What's like a big, is there a big like, Halloween festival going on somewhere?
Oh, here's Halloween daily news. New candy corn Halloween inflatable from Lowe's.
All right,
that's not what I wanted.
That's not what I wanted either. Hilarious. That's just an advertisement.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, Reddit sucks for Halloween news. What is wrong with you, Reddit? That or my Reddit just sucks for Halloween news. Interstellar object 3i Atlas looks increasingly weird. You know, it's kind of weird, unrelated, but the fact that there might have been like a murder in Antarctica.
What that?
You want to talk about that?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that the other day.
Tell us about it.
I don't really know anything about it, so let me go to a page about it. Rodney Marks, May 12th, 2000, age 32, in Antarctica. Marks had wintered over at the South Pole Station in 97 and 98 before being employed at the South Pole in the Smithsonian Astrophysical Observatory, working on the Antarctic Submillimeter Telescope and Remote Observatory, a research project for the University of Chicago at the Amundsen Scott South Pole Station. He was engaged to Sandra Walter, who was overwintering as a maintenance specialist at the base, in order to be with him. Amundsen Scott Pole Station is run by the National Science Foundation, a United States government agency, although much work at the time was subcontracted to Raytheon's Polar Services Company. Interesting. On the 11th of May, 2000. Man, I love how May keeps coming up like all the time. Even though we're in October, May seems to constantly be coming up in this like in a lot of the stories and
You
shit we're
think it
reading
means?
about. I don't know. It definitely means that Mr. Beast is the reincarnation of H.H. Holmes, but that's besides the point. On the 11th of May, 2000, Rodney Marks became unwell. While walking between the remote observatory and the base, he became increasingly sick over a 36-hour period, 3 times returning increasingly distressed to the station's doctor. Advice was sought by satellite, but Marks died on the 12th of May, 2000, age 32, with his condition undiagnosed. The whereabouts of the station doctor, Robert Thompson, are unknown. What? The National Science Foundation issued a statement saying that Rodney Marks had apparently died of natural causes, but the specific cause of death had yet to be determined. The exact cause of Marks' death could not be determined until his body was removed from Amundsen Scott Station and flown off the continent for autopsy. The case received media attention as the first South Pole murder, as suicide was considered the least likely cause of his death. He was buried in Bellbrow Cemetery, Mount Duneed, Victoria, Australia. Mark's body was held for nearly 6 months over winter before it could be flown to Christchurch, New Zealand, the base for American activities in Antarctica, for autopsy. Once in New Zealand, a post-mortem established that Marks had died from methanol poisoning. Both the United States and Australia agreed to a coroner's inquest being held in New Zealand. Jurisdiction issues in the Antarctic are complicated. Most American operations within Antarctica, including the South Pole Base, are within the Ross Dependency Territory claimed by New Zealand, from where supplies are dispatched. The U.S. government does not accept the New Zealand's claim to the territorial sovereignty or the application of New Zealand law to U.S. citizens operating in the Antarctic from Operation Deep Freeze's Christchurch base. New Zealand has not questioned the use of U.S. Marshals in relation to crimes involving only Americans in the Ross Dependency. Whoa. An investigation was undertaken by Detective Senior Sergeant Grant Warmald of the New Zealand Police at the direction of Richard McElray, the Christchurch coroner. A formal verdict has yet to be entered. A 2006 series of coroner's court hearings and statements to the media raised questions from both the police and the coroner's court if Mark's poisoning was intentional. DSS Warmald said, "In my view, it is most likely Marks ingested the methanol unknowingly." DSS Warmall stated that it was not credible believe he had deliberately drunk the methanol, but when he had ready access to a large supply of alcohol. Marks had recently entered a new relationship, had nearly completed important academic work, and had no financial problems. He had promptly sought treatment for an illness that confused him. There was no reason to suspect suicidal intent. DSS Warmald indicated that Raytheon and the National Science Foundation had not been cooperative. DSS Warmald stated regarding the NSF conclusion that Mark's death was from natural causes. "We wanted the results of the NSF internal investigation and get into contact with people who were there to ask them some questions," said Warmald. "They weren't prepared to tell us who was there. They have advised that no report exists, to be frank. I think there is more there. There must be," Warmald said. "I'm not entirely satisfied with all the relevant information that reports have been disclosed to the New Zealand police or the coroner." Having obtained details of the 49 other people at the base at the time, DSS Warmald told the newspaper, "I suspect there have been people who have thought twice about making contact with us on the basis of their future employment position." The U.S. Department of Justice also failed to obtain answers from the two big organizations which appeared to have denied jurisdiction. In December 2006, Christchurch coroner reconvened the investigation, the results of which were widely reported. The coroner's hearing in Christchurch was then, just so everybody knows, too, Christchurch is the name of the town, in case anyone didn't realize that, was then adjourned indefinitely. Mark's father thanked the New Zealand police, who he said had faced an arduous task of dealing with people that quite obviously don't want to deal with them. In January 2007, 7 years after the death, the case was again front page news in New Zealand. The documents obtained under America's Freedom of Information Act suggested diplomatic heat was brought to bear on the New Zealand inquiry. In September 2008, the written report resulting from December 2006 inquest was released. The coroner could not find evidence to support theories of a prank gone awry, nor foul play, nor suicide. The cause of the fatal methanol poisoning has never been determined, and the Marks family has given up hope of learning what happened. Paul Marks, Rodney's father, is quoted as saying, and I don't think we're going to try to find out any more in regards to how Rodney died. I'd see that as a fruitless exercise. That's crazy. That's coming from Wikipedia. Isn't that nuts? Let's see if there's anything on High Strangeness that could be good. All right. Some guy said, I am convinced I used to be a tree in prehistoric times. Interesting. Non-human entity attacks civilian. Oh, dude. You know what we should go over? I don't know if it's from this month or like what month it was from, but you know what's going around a lot this month is that story about that guy who I guess like he thought he saw like an old Civil War soldier, and then it turned out to be like some creepy fucking like weird white-faced like thing that was like hopped in the back of his truck and like seemed like it was gonna murder him. Do you know what I'm talking about? All right, here we go.
Tender County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
I'm driving on 210. I just crossed the Black River, and I thought I saw a guy standing on the side of the road bleeding.
Okay, where are you at, sir?
I'm on 210. I just crossed the Black River. I'm heading towards 53 East. I just passed Patriots Watch.
Okay, so you're over near Morse Creek?
Yes.
Okay. And did you saw a man standing on the side of the road?
What the?
What was that, sir?
That's not human! That's not human!
Sir, are you
I'm sure
okay,
he'd love
sir?
to answer that question, lady, if he
There's
could.
something in the bed of my truck!
Okay, what's in the road?
No, it's not in the road. It's in my truck. In the bed.
There's something in the bed of your truck?
Yes, ma'am. I just turned on my bed lights for my truck, and there's something in my bed.
Okay, sir, when you say something, what do you mean?
I just knocked it off of the bed of my truck and went over my roof.
Okay, what was it?
Hi guys, it's Rusty. I'm about to interview the young man that was driving the truck the night of the frantic 911 call. T, finally I get a chance to meet you. I gotta tell you, I heard the 911 call a couple of months ago actually, and it's been a little bit of a challenge to get the sheriff's schedule, my schedule, and finally now we've got your schedule all worked out so that we can talk to you and get you to tell your story. Obviously, we're not going to share your name or your face. Totally understand that. But after talking with you, clearly your voice is the voice that's on that 911 call. So if you would just Start wherever you want to. We want to hear the whole story.
So,
Take as much time as you
yeah.
need.
I guess I'll start from the beginning of the trip. I was coming up from Florida to visit my family. At the time, I was going to a trade school down there, and when I was driving up here to where the incident occurred by the battlefield, it was already easily like well into the morning. I wasn't looking at my phone. I just know it was pitch black outside, and it was pitch black. I couldn't see the moon, stars, nothing, just barely the road through my headlights. And I had my window down because the AC wasn't working the best. And as I was coming around, there's a massive right curve right there before you cross the Black River, and then after that, you have the battlefield. So on that massive black curve, as I'm coming around, I had just started the curve, and I was about a third of the way through it, and I look over into the ditch on my right, because I caught a quick glimpse of something, and as I take a further look, it looks like there's I'd say probably a 30-something-year-old man standing in that ditch wearing what looks like an old Civil War uniform, just covered head to toe in blood. And the uniform was torn as well. That threw me off because I didn't expect to see it at like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, I'm calling 911 after I see him to report that, because for all I know, it could have just been a normal guy that was injured and needed emergency help. It looked like what had happened is he hit his head on something, and the blood was just pooling down over his face and torso.
Okay.
And well, as I was calling, everything seemed perfectly normal. Just quick phone call to 911, let them know, hey, there's a guy out here, and try to find somewhere safe to park so that way I can take them to him. Well, as you know from the 911 call, right as soon as I reported that, I already had my window up at that point. All of a sudden, I heard a massive bang on my truck, and my truck bounced down from the rear, like I was pulling a heavy trailer and I hit a pothole. And so I'm sitting there going, what the hell was that? Which I'm pretty sure you heard me yell, what the hell? I turned on my bed light, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and all I saw was this white, like snow white face.
It had kind of a face.
Right up against my rear windshield.
Yeah.
Like it was looking into my truck, trying to see what it could
sounds
see.
like an apparition.
It had shallow, sunken eyes.
Skinwalker.
Had no nose. Just think if you took skin
Think about it, like he first saw
and
it as
put it on a
Civil
human
War
skull and
reenactment.
stretched it thin.
Somebody like wearing a Civil War costume.
Couldn't see any ears. Just
Maybe. I
that.
took it as like
And
it was a dead Civil
immediately
War person,
just-
like
I just
still
started
around,
screaming.
and
I didn't realize
he, like,
until
got shot in the head or
afterwards
something.
that I had said that's
And-
not human on the call.
He sees like the
'cause
ghost of it.
It was just the
But it
first
could've
thing
been
I
a
started
skinwalker.
screaming.
That would be
'cause
crazy.
I was
'Cause, like,
terrified.
it
I didn't have my
turns into more of,
firearm
like,
with
a
me,
cryptid type of
nothing.
story when
All I
somebody
had
jumps on his car
was
and
a
sees it,
wood
describes
splitting
it as looking like
axe.
something
So I did.
else.
That's all I had. So, and my truck is loud as is, and it picks up speed fairly easily. Well, my truck at the time, it had a gas-powered 6-liter V8 Vortec on it, and it was a proper dual exhaust. Hence why I had the window up, because that truck is nice and loud. Well, I'm doing in between like 55, 60 miles an hour when this happens, and I just stomped on the gas for a second. When I looked at
Whoa,
the
I don't remember
speedometer
this
before I
part.
slammed on my brakes,
Wait,
I
what
was
did you say?
doing maybe 80.
He's
And
He
I
said he
slammed
saw
on
a
those brakes
super
with
long,
all my might,
scrawny
and I
body
went from like
swirl
80
over
miles an
his
hour
truck
down
and
to
land in
like
front of him.
35 in just like a couple of seconds.
I didn't see this part of the story.
And all I see is this super scrawny long body just fly over my truck in a ball rolling. And as I then swerve to the left and get back in the travel lane, and I floor it. And as I'm swerving to the left, I see it stand
That's
up, and it is
spooky.
easily taller than that truck. I'm 5'10". The truck is about 2 inches taller than I am. And this thing was easily like maybe 7 feet. And as I pass it, I look in my mirror and I see it bolt to the left into the woods, and it looked like I don't even know what the hell, because it looked like somebody took a normal human and stretched them out, starting with the legs. It like abnormally long legs and arms, and it just took off into the woods. And I just said, nope, I'm out of here. I'm not staying to figure out what this is. And there's a gas station all the way at the corner where the highway intersects. And I pulled into that gas station. I was doing like 90 all the way to that gas station because that was the only place with any light that I saw.
Right.
And I just stopped in that parking lot and waited like 10, 15 minutes for state troopers to show up. Well, next thing I know, the state troopers show up at the gas station, and I'm just staring back at that road
This is the start of an
to
X-Files
make sure
episode.
that it's not coming
Yeah,
back.
this is crazy.
So I tell them what happened. They proceed to look at my truck, look in the bed of the truck, look on top of the cab, and on top of the cab, clear as day, you can see like it was scratching trying to get into my truck.
Really?
Or when it initially hit, another way to look at it is when it hit the back of the
Jesus.
truck and landed in the bed, like it had latched onto
That
the hood
makes
for a
the
second
hair
and scraped, trying
stand
to
up,
balance
dude.
itself. And you could see that clear as day. I mean, there was a couple of scratches from like squirrels and tree branches, but
That's scary.
those stuck out because it looked like it had landed like this and just ripped backwards. And well, they asked me to take them approximately where it happened. And I mean, when it's the middle of the night and you're going the opposite direction of where you just came, your sense of direction is a little off.
Right.
So I took them back to approximately where I believe it was, because I couldn't see. I didn't remember any landmarks because I was going from the other way. But there was an S curve, and I think I took them. I think I might have taken them on accident to the S curve, but the incident happened before that S curve because I hit that S curve going about 65 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour. I still remember the jolt of the truck, the fear, everything. I remember pretty much everything just in that one moment. I looked at the truck the next morning. Sure enough, scratch marks are right there on the roof of the truck.
What were the reaction of the law enforcement officers?
The law enforcement officers, when they showed up, they were skeptical. Although now they might not be as much. But at the time, the troopers especially seemed skeptical. Parks and Wildlife, when they flew the drone, they seemed more curious than anything, and EMS was more like, okay, are you okay? And they went and looked for the other guy and couldn't find him.
So the state patrol were there,
Yes.
EMS,
Yes.
wildlife,
and
and the sheriff's department.
Yes.
I guess because we interviewed the sheriff, so
Yes.
he had deputies in.
And I think one of them might have broken off after the initial contact with me, but I know one of them was with me because I was still in fight or flight when they told me, "Hey, can you go back and show us?" Because I did not want to go back at all.
I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you.
I still refuse to drive through that area at night because I don't know what I saw. I don't ever want to see it again.
For years, the residents and people out there in the Curry area near the battlefield have reported seeing things and hearing things that they couldn't exactly understand. The Moores Creek National Battlefield does sit well off the roadway. In the years past, we have had deputies respond to that area, different noises on the battlefield itself, things being seen on the battlefield that just couldn't be explained. The caller remained on a 911 call with my dispatcher. He stated he was traveling towards 421 to Johnson's Corner, where he met a deputy and a highway patrol. Judging by the distance and the time that it would have taken him to travel
That's wild.
the timeline definitely matches up. Once our deputies in the North Carolina State
It's a
Highway
wild
Patrol
story.
arrived at the scene of Johnson's Corner on 421 and made contact with the caller, our deputy spoke with him some. At that point,
Yeah, that's crazy. What do you make of that? What you sure you don't think it was like a Civil War apparition? It almost sounds like it from that the cops answer.
I've just never really believed in ghosts that like do that.
I don't know.
Can't imagine a ghost turning into like some sort of demon-looking entity, unless it was actually a demon and not an apparition.
Maybe some kind of apparition. Well, I feel like maybe I'm
You
wrong
think
about
apparitions can become demons? You think if they're negative enough? That they
That's
can
kind of what I
become
was
something
gonna
else?
say. Yeah, exactly. Like a
Becomes
like a
whole- it's
dark
like a ghoul.
energy.
He became a ghoul.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like dark energies can like manifest that way. Like if you're a dark energy in life and you end in a dark way in a dark energy, maybe you can manifest that. Maybe some people want that. Maybe when they die they curse like whatever. You know what I mean? The people that did this to them and their ancestors and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably a thing. I feel like we take for granted how many like how little people like curse other people. Speaking of which, we're gonna be doing a curse episode soon. I feel like we've been saying that for months.
Speaking of curses, I think somebody cursed Hassan Piker.
Yeah, well, we talked about that earlier, but yeah, exactly. Hassan Piker, he's definitely channeling a negative energy. It could also just be our technology. After Trump said that shit about UFOs the other day, I'm just starting to
What did he
believe that
say?
he said he had for the last 5 years we've had technology that's like basically UFOs that have just been zipping around
He
in the
said that?
sky. Yeah.
That's crazy that he said that. That's UFO disclosure. That's UFO disclosure right there. He just said, yeah, we have UFOs. They're real. That's not all
mean-
the story, though. There's definitely aliens, too. Just reminding the world, like, yeah, we actually have UFOs.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
It's been like for the last 5 years, he said.
I just feel like these other countries are probably in contact with aliens that are, like, way more advanced than us still. So that's... It's not really, like...
I'm more and more convinced that the New Jersey drones were Trump and Elon testing out their like I think that's what he was talking about was the Elon UFO thing, the triangular thing. I could be mistaken though. I don't know the context of what that was. But I feel like because all the drones were so close to spots that Trump would have insider knowledge about. If you look at it, they even went to his house. They went near his house, which is, why would they do that unless it's like a foreign entity or it's, you know what I'm saying? It's it's him.
Wait, it went by whose house?
It went by Trump's Bedminster home. The
That's
drones.
weird.
That's what I'm saying. I even said that to you.
But if it was like, if he was behind it, why would he want?
I think it would be a good show of force because it's a test. He would also want them to guard his house, so maybe he let them near his house. He let them near his golf
Sure.
course. You know what I mean? He let them near a lot of spots like that. So
Sure.
either it was a foreign entity or it was him letting it happen.
Oh man, I hope Trump doesn't have UFOs.
I don't know. It's just a theory, but I feel like that's what the Iron Dome is. I feel like that's what the New Jersey drones were. I feel like it's all kind of coming together a little too easy.
Nah, there's definitely aliens.
No, I agree. I'm not saying there's
It
not
wasn't
aliens.
it wasn't just in New Jersey. It wasn't just in the United States. It was
No, I
across the
agree.
world.
I'm not just saying it because I remember we talked about this. I agree it was across the world, but I'm saying I think a lot of them were that specifically, and I'm thinking
Yeah.
maybe at the same time what it was is it was that a lot of them, but at the same time I think they were taking advantage of the aliens popping up in the sky all over the place at the time, and they decided to implement that in there too. If you look at stocks, it makes sense too, because a lot of the stocks mid October to November basically like went through the roof when the New Jersey drones thing started happening, or mid-November, something like that. It was literally like a week before they started popping up everywhere that the stocks just went crazy. Like a lot of these AI companies and like AI drones and shit. So sometimes you got to follow the money. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. There's some crazy shit out there. I think we do have UFO technology. I think there are UFOs. I think there's aliens. I think there's advanced ships that we have. I think what this is just probably the tip of the iceberg, really. You know, they revealed to the public what they've had for years.
Yeah.
GPS they had in what, the 80s and 90s? We fought the Gulf War with GPS. So what's there to stop them from having such a powerful technology like UFOs from, you know, truly escaping the ideas of mankind or like science, and until that idea has permeated the entirety of mankind. What this just tells me is that if they're able to reveal that they have vehicles like that that can travel like that, what that means is that all the other major powers of the world probably have that too. We're talking Britain, we're talking China, Russia, all of these other countries probably have all of this kind of technology, and they probably had it for years, and all those conspiracies about that are probably true.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like that in Japan, they've just been like saying that their government has crazy advanced technology has been suppressed. Like they're obsessed with this shit just like we are.
Yeah, they are. They love technology.
How many Chinese movies are there like that?
There's not, but do we ever watch that many like movies that come out of China?
I am just solely watching anime. So
there you go.
there. I want to get the Japanese side of it.
So if we maybe pay attention to like what's going on a little more there, I'm sure we'd get an idea of like what they have for like technology. I heard that they've somehow perfected on a minor scale teleportation, but I think we even talked about that on here, which that's kind of wild.
Yeah.
All these superpowers probably have just a massive amount of technology that we don't even realize that they have. It's probably would be nauseating if we truly knew like the extent to like which science has gone. I feel like there's a lot of crazy things. I was reading a story today about have you ever heard of about like the one electron theory or whatever? It was derived in like,
but I didn't read it.
Did I? All right. So it was pretty interesting. It was the idea of the entirety of the universe. Basically, it was a theory in like 1947. It was created by some dude, and some dude, and he basically said that instead of there being like however many electrons there's supposed to be, like a set amount or whatever, there's actually just one electron that is basically stringing itself along everywhere and forming everything. And it was kind of a wild idea, but I read some other theories that led to that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. Apparently, Fermi was actually like friends with the guy who created it, and would like basically try to either disprove it or prove it, like, or help to like figure it out a little more. So that's kind of an interesting little thing about that. I read another theory about how this kind of was what led to this. Is I read a theory about electrons, and that it, if we had like the technology to create an electron, it would actually destabilize reality as we know it, and actually basically cause the entirety of reality to collapse in a big bang type explosion. I'm not sure why, but apparently it would cause like reality to be unstable. What would it kind of actually reminded me of the plasma apocalypse, because it said everything would just instantly incinerate to plasma.
Maybe everything would just turn into a cartoon. We'd enter Toon World. We'd we're resetting back to a 2D universe.
Adding a single electron to the universe would create a permanent net negative charge, disrupting the universe's delicate balance. This would cause a massive imbalance, leading to every atom becoming positively charged ion, and every molecule disintegrating due to the immense electrostatic forces. All living creatures would die as proteins would break down and the fundamental structure of matter would be destroyed, leading to catastrophic and unimaginable events. It would be truly unimaginable, because it would just completely everything would be instantly destroyed. The atmosphere would become a mixture of oxygen and fluorine ions and might ignite. That's crazy. Wow. And it even says the question of what would happen if a single electron were added is a variant of on a thought experiment known as the one electron universe theory, which speculates that all electrons are actually the same particle traveling back and forth through time. This theory is not accepted as a scientific model, but it highlights the fundamental role of charge conservation in our universe. So that is a horrifying reality right there. So if we ever create technology that's able to create an electron, that would be a major no-no. I mean, we're already playing with black holes right now, but imagine if we could like create an electron, that would just be like, boom, done.
Yeah.
Don't want to mess with that.
I feel like we live in the fact that we know that. I feel like we live in a universe where somebody did do that, and then somebody had to like reset reality so that never happened, and then we just from now on know not to do that.
It's just no. I mean, I guess so. I guess it's still too it's also kind of a thought experiment based on how we interpret reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because electrons are just a way that we view reality. I mean, I'm sure that is how it is. But what if there is another thing that in place of an electron that explains it even more so and could potentially, I mean, I guess everything's explained with math the way that it has to be explained, but I'm sure there's things that we're missing. You know, there's fundamental laws of reality that I feel like we might be missing.
What are we missing here, folks?
Well, I mean, life, that's one thing. Like, where does it come from? Is that truly known? I don't know. These are the powerful questions we're asking this Halloween.